Hello friends, welcome to another session of video tutorial on Selenium Java. In today's session, we are going to take a look at Selenium Grid again. So this is part 2 of this Selenium Grid. Please watch part 1 before continuing with part 2. Please subscribe, like, share, comment the videos on this channel. If you have any training inquiries, please contact me at Tech-Trainer@gmail.com. In the earlier session, which is part 1 of my Selenium Grid, we have seen how to run a hub and how to connect a particular node to a hub. We have also gone through the introduction of Selenium Grid in that particular video. In this session, we will again run a hub and we will create 3 different nodes with different browser capabilities. We will also create a client code which connects to a particular hub and run the test for 3 different browsers. The browsers which I'm going to use is Chrome, IE and Firefox. First thing, I have downloaded all the drivers here. I have Chrome driver, Gecko driver and IE driver server here, which I downloaded from seleniumhq.org, which I placed it in D drive. The example test case which I'm going to take a look at in this session is, I will again go to the internet-hero-kapp.com. From there, I'm going to take form authentication. This is the example which I'm going to take in this session. This already we have covered in the other video also. So I'm going to make use of the same code in this video. Let us begin by running the hub first. We have also downloaded the Selenium server standalone jar in D grid. So this is the one which I'm going to make use of. As we have seen in the last session, we have downloaded this and stored it in a particular folder called D grid folder. Okay, there are 3 steps which I'm going to do. First step is run the hub. Second step, run nodes with different browser capabilities, and the third one is the client code. Okay, first let us run the hub. So open up the command prompt and go to the location where your Selenium server standalone jar is located. So command. Okay. The command which I'm going to use here is java -jar Selenium server standalone jar, and the role will be hub. Hub is running. Okay, all the nodes must use to register to this particular hub by using this URL, and all the clients should connect to this particular hub by using this URL, which has basically the IP address and the port number. Okay, so there is something called grid console. Okay, go to your browser, copy the IP address and the port number /grid/console. Okay, this is the grid console interface where you can go and see which nodes are connected and what are their configurations and capabilities. Okay, since I don't have any node connected to this particular hub, so there is nothing appearing here. But once I register a particular node, then we will come back to this page or with this interface and see the node configuration. Okay, to register a node, again open up the command prompt and go to the location where your standalone server.jar file is. Okay, the command will be first java followed by the WebDriver location with -d webdriver.chrome.driver, and this is the location of the WebDriver. followed by the jar file with the name of the jar file, which is Selenium server standalone jar file, and the role here is node, and to which hub it is going to register to, that is provided by -hub, and the URL to register to this particular hub which we ran earlier, and the browser capability, I'm going to say okay, use the browser name as Chrome. Okay, enter. Okay, so it says registering the node to this particular hub, and the node is registered to this hub and ready to use. So as you can see here, the maximum instance is not specified, using default is equal to 1 instance, and registered a node with this particular IP address. Now let us go back and see the grid console. Let us refresh this. Okay, as you can see, one node is registered with the browser capability, which is Chrome. Okay, the configuration can be seen here for this particular node, and this node has got ID, which is this IP address followed by the port number. Here you can also see that maximum instance is not specified. You can also specify the number of instances which you want to run on this particular node. Since we have not specified maximum instance, so it has registered only one instance. Node can also have multiple browser capabilities. Since we have provided only the browser name as Chrome here, so that is why only Chrome got registered into this particular node. Okay, so let us create the second node now. Open up another command prompt, and again copy this command, paste it here, but in this case it will be Firefox. And it will be webdriver.gecko.driver, and gecko driver is, okay, so let me copy this and paste it here. So instead of chrome driver.exe, it will be gecko driver.exe. So let us enter, and another node got registered into this particular hub. Okay, so let us go back to our grid and refresh this. Okay. As you can see, this node has got Firefox browser capability. The same way, we will also create another node . Your browser name will be Internet Explorer. For IE driver, it will be webdriver.ie.driver. The driver name is IE driver server.exe. Okay, it will be d:/IE driver server.exe. Okay, hit enter, and you can see the node is registered to the hub and ready to use. So let us go back and see. Yeah, there is one instance registered. Okay, let us go to console and verify. Okay, as we can see, there are 3 nodes which are registered now. Okay, one is Chrome, the other one is Firefox, and then IE. Our setup is done. Now we need to create a client program. We have run the hub and ran 3 different nodes with different browser capabilities. Now we will look at the client code. Before this, let us take a look at this pictorial representation which describes how this hub and node works. Okay, so whenever there is a client program which can be written either using Selenium Java or Ruby or Python or C#. Whenever there is a client program which requests for a test to be run, it will request it to hub first. Since the hub is registered with multiple nodes with different browser capabilities and different platforms, so hub will know based on the platform or the browser which is requested by this particular test case, and it will route that particular test case to the matching node based on the platform and the browser capability, and then the test case will be run on that particular node and the result will be sent back to your client machine. Okay, so this is how the hub and node works. Okay, so let us look at the client code now. Let us go to Eclipse. For this, I'm going to create another Maven project. Create simple project, click on next, provide the group ID. And artifact ID. Click on finish. Okay, go to that particular project. Now the first thing is to add some dependencies. The dependencies which I'm going to add here is Selenium TestNG. I'm going to copy the dependency from another project. In the earlier videos, we have already seen how to get these dependencies from central Maven repository. Okay, so I have added these two dependencies. One is Selenium Java and the other one is TestNG. Okay, so let me save this. The next thing is create a class. Okay, so go to source main Java, select new and class. So here I'm going to give the package name. Okay, and the class name is Selenium Grid example. I'm not going to enable main here since I'm going to use TestNG. Click on finish. Okay, I'm going to create a method here, void I'm going to have annotation, test annotation for this particular method imported. Next thing is I'm going to copy some code from earlier example for this form authentication example. Before I copy the code, few things I want to explain here. The first thing which we are going to make use of is desired capabilities class. Okay, the second thing is options class. Okay, these options class are available both in Chrome, Firefox as well as IE. The third one is remote web driver. and the usual actions on the web page. First, we need to create an object of desired capabilities class. Okay, and desired capabilities dcap is equal to new desired capabilities. Okay, the next thing is this desired capabilities class has got a method which is set browser name. Okay, the browser name which I'm going to set here is Chrome browser. Okay, the next thing is we need to create an object of Chrome options class. Chrome options pt is equal to new Chrome options. Okay, let me import this. And there is a method called merge which we are going to make use of. opt dot merge, which takes desired capabilities object. In our case it is dcap. Okay, so far we have used desired capabilities and options class. Now we need to create a remote web driver. Okay, web driver is equal to new remote web driver, and this remote web driver has got overloaded method. The one which I am going to use is a remote web driver which takes URL and capabilities as parameters. Okay, so this will be the remote address where this client will be connecting to, and the capabilities is opt, which is stored in our Chrome options. Okay, for remote address I'm going to create another string variable is equal to client will be connecting to this particular URL, so which I'm going to take it from the hub. Okay, so this is the URL which this will take. Okay, so now this remote address will be new, it will be of type URL, and the URL will take a string value which will be our remote address which we just created, followed by semicolon. So let us import this URL, and there is an unhandled exception here, so which I'm going to throw. After this, for the usual actions which I'm going to perform on this particular page, I have already code written for that in the earlier example which I have covered in the earlier videos also. Okay, I have copied the source code from the other example. Driver.get, it is going to the home page, but instead of home page I'm going to use login. So instead of going to home page and clicking on the link, I'm directly using the URL which goes to this login page, and from the login page it will search for username and it will type in Tom Smith and the password as this password, and then it clicks on the button. Our code is ready now. Let us run this. Right click, run as test-ng test. As you can see, it has opened this browser here. It goes, clicks on that login, we get the output. Okay, since we have not closed it, I'm going to add the close here. Okay, so close the driver. As you can see, this test is successful. Let us go back to Hub and see. Okay, what Hub says is it got a request to create a new session with capabilities browser name as Chrome, and then trying to create a new session on test slot. Okay, so let us see it on the node. So if you look at the node, it matches this particular node, and then it starts a new session and runs the test. So if you look at other nodes, okay, no new session has been started. Okay, since this is for Chrome, you can see that this is a Chrome driver. Okay, so it has started a new session of Chrome and then it ran the test. As explained earlier, it first goes to this hub, and then hub will search through the different nodes which are registered to this particular hub and matches the capability, and then transfers that particular test case to the matching node. So that is what happened here. Initially the test case came into hub, and then it matched the capabilities, browser capabilities, and then it passed the test to this particular node, and it started a new session and ran that particular test. Let us copy this file, okay, and paste it into the same package. Okay, so this I'm going to call it as Firefox grid example. Okay, I'm going to paste it again here, and this I'm going to call it as IE grid example. The first one was Chrome, and we created 2 more files based on that. Okay, let us go to Firefox grid example now. The desired capabilities, I'm going to set the browser name as Firefox, and instead of Chrome options I'm going to use Firefox options. That's it. What I have changed in this is the browser name, I set it to Firefox, and then instead of Chrome options I'm using Firefox options. That's all I changed. So let us save this and run this Firefox example. Okay, so right click, run as test-ng test. Okay, it should open up a Firefox browser. Okay, as you can see, it has opened up the Firefox browser, and then it is closing it. Okay, so here also the test ran. Okay, same way you can see it is trying to create a new session on matching node. For Chrome we don't see any activity here, but if you look at the Firefox node, as you can see, it matched the factory and it started a new session and ran that particular test. If you look at IE, there is no activity in this because this is not the matching node. Okay, so let us go to IE grid example now. Okay, here also I'm going to set the browser name as Internet Explorer, and instead of Chrome option there is Internet Explorer options. That's it. So only 2 things I changed. One is I set the browser name, the other one is Instead of Chrome options, I am using Internet Explorer options. Okay, let us save this and run this test. Okay, IE grid example, right click, run as test-ng test. It should open up a Internet Explorer here now. Okay, so it has opened up Internet Explorer. It's going to herokuapp.com login page. Okay, clicked on that button and close the driver. This test is also passed. There is no failure and there is no skip. So this is how we can make use of grid to run multiple tests on different nodes. If I want to run these in parallel, I can create a test.ng XML file and run them in parallel. How to run these tests in parallel? So you have to go back and check the test.ng tutorial part 1. So again here you can see it has started a new session for IE driver. There are several options available. So let us see. If you type in -help, so it will provide you different options available. Okay, I can debug it, I can get the version, and I can set the browser timeout, I can set the capabilities. Okay, and how did I set the browser? By using this -browser and the browser name as Firefox or Chrome. I can also set the platform. And this is how I set the hub. Okay. Earlier it said the maximum session was only 1. Since we didn't set this parameter or the option, that is why by default it was 1. And you can also use JSON configuration file with all the configurations inside a file, and you can provide that file by using this, which is node config option. There are several options. So at every stage, if you want to find out, all you need to do is type in -help. If I want to register a particular node with multiple browser capabilities, how do I do it? I need to provide browser, multiple browsers with browser name is equal to Chrome. Okay, so now this node 3 will have different capabilities. If you go back to grid console and refresh this, now node 3 has got 2 different browser capabilities, that is IE as well as Chrome. So it is not necessary that you have to have only one capability or one browser capability per node. So you can also have multiple browser capabilities for a particular node. Okay, so that is about Selenium Grid, and in this session we learned how to work with different nodes with different browser capabilities. That is the end of this session. Thanks for watching. Please stand by for more videos on this channel and don't forget to subscribe the channel.